Why do you think remote learning could stick around even in a post-COVID world?
Well, I think it has, and at the same time, it hasn't. I think in some ways, educational leaders are always looking for that newest technology, that newest trick. And I think that if you're a policymaker and you're worried about things like budgets, I do think that there's a worry that they might look at Zoom classes and say, well, you know what? Not for elementary school kids, but for high school kids, and especially for higher education and college. If you're on a Zoom call, it really doesn't matter if you have 20 people or 100 people, and you could really save a lot of money by moving education onto these online platforms where we can really bring down costs. And I think it'd be very, very attractive to policymakers as well, especially because the cost of higher education is absolutely out of control.
Now, in the essay, you say that there are also hidden benefits to physically attending school. What are some of those benefits?
Well, I think we're really seeing this right now, especially with our teenagers, and that is that getting up every day, learning, yes, there is a routine, sharing a physical space that is your community, actually being able to, engage with people that maybe sometimes you don't want to. I mean, that's, young people sometimes need to learn that, the world is filled with things you don't want to do. It's filled with deadlines. It's filled with other people who you might not be particularly fond of, and getting up every day and doing the things that you're supposed to do in that kind of structured environment. That's something that we have to learn. I mean, I think sometimes we believe that getting up and going to school every day is just about curriculum. It's just about information. It's just about skill building, but it's actually modeling adulthood. It's modeling what it looks like to have a job someday, to be a parent someday, to have responsibilities as a citizen someday. And what we've had the last year, and we all understand why, but we've had pajama learning. Well, you know what? You can't have a pajama life. And that's something that I think that we're going to, we keep talking about a return to normalcy, and goodness gracious, I hope we have it. But I think it's going to take a while for a lot of these young people who have gotten into a much slower tempo of existence to come out of that.
Now you've been a teacher for over 2 decades, and you say we're in a time where the most important adult relationships for many school-age children is with their teacher. Why are teachers in some instances more important than parents?
Well, first of all, the most important adult relationship should be with the parent. Make no mistake about that. But as we see with so many of these young people, sadly, a lot of those parental relationships are not strong. Oftentimes, a lot of our students grow up in a household where there's a single parent who's working with 2 or 3 jobs. Sometimes you have young people who don't live with their parents. And so this kind of sea of turbulence that a lot of our kids are floating around in all the time. Teachers can kind of be a soulful ballast, if you will, in this sea of dysfunction that a lot of our kids operate in.
You can read Jeremy's full op-ed, Distance Learning. Even my students will tell you that's not the future. In the LA Times online right now, and an excerpt of it is being printed as a part of the Times COVID Year in Review Roundup. BHS and CSUB political science teacher, Jeremy Adams. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Austin.